This is Fortnite running on a i9-9900K with 32 gigs of RAM and a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1080 Ti video card. I'm not going to pull up the settings on this one because this video isn't about the 9900K. So what this video is, I wanted to do, I picked up a couple of extra Elgato HD60 Pros. I got a good deal on like 3 of them, so I picked them up. And I wanted to do a little bit of video for people that are wondering, mostly, can they use their old gaming desktop as a secondary dedicated capture build? And my take on the matter as far as old gaming desktops is anything that you've considered a gaming desktop within the last 5 years is at least an X58 build. Probably more. For most people, their old gaming, quote, old gaming desktop is going to be like a Sandy Bridge i7 or something like that. But a few people are still using X58. I've had some good results on X58 tests in the last couple of days. I got a bunch of deals on X58 parts, and I mean I'm seeing 150 plus FPS solid frame rates out of some of these systems. They're not that super high end. I mean, we're talking i7. I guess they're fairly high end for what they were, but we're talking like i7 980X, 12 gigs with like a Radeon HD60 and those systems are getting like a solid 150 FPS. So they're still okay systems, but I'm guessing a few people would like to have a dedicated capture build and would like to do it without having to go out and spend a bunch of money on additional hardware other than maybe the Elgato card itself. And these aren't really cheap. I mean, current market values, I think most people are going to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $180 for one of these cards. So, I mean, when you're talking, I mean, I'm going to sell this entire system minus the Elgato card for probably $350. So, I mean, it's definitely not, the Elgato card itself is definitely not cheap. But I'm running audio also through the Elgato card as well. I found that to be the easiest way to be able to listen to game audio as well as capture at the same time. There doesn't seem to really be, unless I'm missing something, there doesn't really seem to be a great solution for that. But maybe I need to just get some sort of dedicated splitter device, but whatever. Anyway, back to the whole capture situation. This build that I'm capturing on is a it's the Xeon equivalent to an i7 980X. It's a Xeon X5680, I think, is the chip. But it's the same chip as an i7 980X 6 core. These are a great option if you don't have to have custom. You can find a decent deal on custom parts, but the fact is, if you want something like this really cheap, the real way to do it is to go and buy an old decommissioned workstation, like an old Dell or HP, something like that. Just out of a business office. You'll see them pop up on Craigslist every now and then, and I've seen them as low as sub $100. I mean, you're not going to get all the advantages. This one that I'm working on is a custom build, but if you're trying to use it as a capture rig, realistically, all you need is the two slots, one for your card and one for your video card, and one for the Elgato card. My understanding is that the Elgato card wants a decent video card. I think they claim minimum recommended is something like a GTX 660, I think. This card is definitely superior to that. being the HD 7970. I think the 7970 is supposed to be on par with a GTX 680, but my experience is it performs even higher than the 680. Typically, it's closer to something like a 780 when you actually test it out. But anyway, I'm going to turn up the volume, and we'll have some fun gaming on it, and then see how the video looks. If the video looks smooth and there's not any stutters or anything, and it looks like it's definitely a viable option, I'll upload this video, and you'll be seeing this video. Anyway, let's get to the gaming. Okay, so we'll take a look at the playback on the video and again see how decent the capture looked on it. I'm guess it's going to be halfway decent, even though the real-time playback window looks a little sluggish. My old capture card did the same thing. The Elgato on my X99 build has always been pretty smooth, but X99 is still a pretty high-end platform, and it's definitely on the high end of what the Elgato needs, whereas this is a little bit on the lower end. But again, if you're watching the video, thanks for watching, and if you're here because you're curious, what do you actually need for game capture? If you're watching this video, it answers it. Anyway, again, thanks for watching.